What an absolute dull day in Syracuse, New York. Am I right, people? And any, the world of professional wrestling or football or any sports to say at least. It's a very dull day. I know we had Monday Night Football, Monday Night Raw, last night. Monday Night Football actually was a very good game between the Vikings and Bears. You gotta be honest, as a Packers fan, I don't like the Vikings, I don't like the Bears. Actually, not a bad game whatsoever. The Vikings came back in the fourth quarter and beat the Bears, by the way, if you don't know about that. What is going on, everybody? Enough of football talk, shall we? Welcome to an episode of the Wrestling Report for September 9th of 2025 on Lucas E. Allen Productions on YouTube and all audio platforms, Lucas E. Allen Show. Like I say, your Wrestling Report for September 9th of 2025. Here also always Lucas E. Allen on YouTube, well, YouTube, yes, but Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, Lucas E. Allen. Watch on YouTube, pick the like button, today's report. Hit the subscribe button if you've done so already. Turn the bell for our post notifications when it's an upload on YouTube. And leave a comment to get this wrestling report for September 9th of 2025. Watch on Spotify, do the same thing as well, to say the least. Let's get right into your report, shall we? And by the way, I'm going to be doing a lot more content, hopefully next couple of days or so, for full file videos and podcasts on YouTube and all audio platforms and podcast platforms. I'm thinking about hopefully today, knock on wood. Big ass knock to say at least. Right now it's 4:19 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, East Coast of Syracuse, New York, obviously for me. And I want to do your NFL Week 1 2025 of the season review, and also want to do your power rankings for tomorrow, for Wednesday, and also maybe in your preview predictions for Week 2 for Thursday. And as always, your wrestling reports come out every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, and every hour PLE weekend / pay-per-view weekends for said WWE or AEW to say at least. And also, there'll be a lot more content to say at least, other than that to say at least. Let's get right into your report, though, shall we, for today, for September 9th of 2025, for Wrestling Report. Let's go to AJ Styles. He puts out feelers for options that's outside of WWE before resigning. Let's discuss and by. We'll also be discussing Monday Night Raw in the coming days or so, also of AEW Dynamite, and as well as Friday Night SmackDown this week as well. So we got those three reviews to say at least. I'll also be discussing positive news on CM Punk after injury scare on Monday Night Raw last night. We'll be discussing that. Also, Nikki Bella, who tapped out to an Asuka lock on Asuka Monday Night Raw this week. I thought it was a shocking outcome, honestly. Because Nikki Bella teases a WWE character change. We'll be discussing that. Also, Wardlow reportedly suffered significant injury, to say at least as well. We'll be discussing that. You're not reviewing this show anymore. We're discussing your NXT September 9th, 2025 preview. After September 9th, I put fucking 2035 in my notes, man. Can you believe that shit? Fix that later on, to say at least. As always, this day in wrestling history as well. As always, thank you for watching. Lucas E. Allen, maybe as always, for Lucas E. Allen Productions on YouTube and all audio platforms, Lucas E. Allen Show. So right into your episode, just Tuesday's episode of September 9th of 2025 Wrestling Report. Let's get right into it. Starting with, you guessed it, AJ Styles. He puts out feelers for his options outside WWE before resigning. And by the way, he also was on Monday Night Raw this last night in a very work shoot promo, I believe, on commercial break, man. I discussed that on a YouTube short and Instagram reel and a TikTok video to say at least about that. So go check that out on social media, say at least on YouTube or our shorts. AJ Styles, I'm going to discuss his report right here. A new report has revealed that before he signed his most recent contract extension with WWE, AJ Styles put out feelers about the potential options outside the company. This adds another layer to this recent speculation about the 48-year-old's long-term plans, which has been fueled by a cryptic social media post and comments from his son. The new information comes after a report by John Alba of Takedown Sports Illustrated. The report states that before signing his latest one-year extension with the WWE earlier this year, there was mutual interest in Styles exploring opportunities on the convention circuit to say at least, independent wrestling circuit to say at least. Multiple sources indicated a Takedown Sports Illustrated that prior to his re-signing with the WWE, on the most recent extension, Styles did indeed put out feelers about his potential options outside the company. Alba wrote, specifically, it was noted that he was generating major interest in the convention circuit from promoters, and it was mentioned that the interest was mutual and at least exploratory. While the report does not indicate if there were any feelers put out about him wrestling for other promotions, the fact that he was exploring any outside options is notable to say the least. It should be interesting to see AJ Styles when he makes a comeback to WWE and resigns with the company for another couple of years. I actually want to hope he retires with WWE. I know people want to say we want one more chance to get AEW and AEW with him and Kenny Omega wrestling each other. Like, come on, that's not going to happen. At least I'll be shocked if it happen, knock on wood. I'll be shocked shitless if AEW gets AJ Styles. What do you need guys like Styles anyway? Styles can retire in the WWE and have like a big time last round, hopefully fucking championship. Maybe it's the world title, or one of the mid-card titles in our kind of United States title before the world titles, honestly. It should be interesting, man. Keep up there, and AJ Styles going forward, in all honesty. Big fan of Styles, obviously one of the best wrestlers in the last decade. And still one of the best wrestlers in the world today, to say at least. Keep updating him going forward, to say at least as well. Moving on to positive news on CM Punk after injury scare on Monday Night Raw last night. I read a new report from PWInsiderElite.com has provided an update on the status of CM Punk. Following a moment on this past week's Monday Night Raw episode that had some fans concerned, the report states that there was no indication that Punk was injured during a spot where he appeared to land awkwardly while exiting the ring during the commercial break. The incident occurred when done during the September 8th episode of Monday Night Raw from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. During a commercial break, the fans' footage captured Punk exiting the ring and appearing to hit his back on the ring apron. Oh god, Punk's age and Punk's injuries, so they'll say that. Oh my god, man, I'm glad he's okay. On his way to the floor, the moment quickly begun to circulate on social media, with fans expressing that they're concerned over a potential injury, especially given Punk's injury history with specific injuries since the return to wrestling in 2021 when he joined AEW. However, according to the report, there is no truth of an injury speculation, thank God, like I said. In asking around today, we are told that no one heard anything about Punk being hurt, and everyone dismissed it as one of those stories that spread online, but had no bearing. In fact, this report states. We gotta at least be able to do that concern, to say at least. Because Punk is, how Punk is, he's up there to say at least, and he has injury issues. Since, like I said, coming back to wrestling in 2021 in AEW. He has a lot of injuries problems. Every fan has the right to be concerned about that. Especially with Punk's age, Punk's injury history, especially in the past, 4 or 5 years, to say the least. But I'm glad he's okay and all. It's been a horrible time. Gets hurt right now. Him and his wife, AJ Lee, taking on Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch at WrestlePalooza. We'll discuss that in the Raw review sometime later this week. I'm glad CM Punk is okay, and we can't wait to see him and AJ Lee produce against Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch at WrestlePalooza, to say the least. We're on to a woman that tapped out to an Asuka lock last night Monday Night Raw, Nikki Bella. Teases WWE character change. WWE Hall of Famer Nikki Bella is in the midst of her full-time comeback in the WWE and has opened up about her personal goals for this new chapter in her career. The former Divas champion revealed that while she initially wanted to keep her classic fearless persona for nostalgic reasons, she is now looking to evolve the character. Nikki returned to WWE earlier this year and has quickly reestablished herself as a top star in the women's division. Speaking on her SiriusXM podcast and Nikki and Bree show, Nikki discussed her mindset and goals for her current run. She explained that her focus is on pushing herself physically and creatively to see how she can hang in this era with women's professional wrestlers. Obviously, when she was wrestling in a prime, honestly, she was wrestling with divas, to say at least. She was not the best wrestler in the world either, like anyone else say. As well, for me personally, one thing I knew that I wanted out of this comeback, and I still do, is wanted to get back into my strong shape. I don't know about that. She's in great shape as is right now. I think she's in incredible shape, honestly. You know how old she is, personally. She's like 40 or something like that. She looks incredible. I don't know why she'd say her strong shape. What was her strong shape? Is it bigger than this, to say at least? Something about that, though, Nikki. Whatever. And my wrestling shape, this could be, I understand the wrestling shape, though, honestly, when she says that. And to get to the place where I used to be many years ago. So physically that part, and then it was to get myself into the wrestling place of this new era. Like, okay, how far can I push myself beyond my comfort zone? And how can I hang in this era? I like that mindset quite a bit from Nikki there. Gotta love that in all honesty. You know who I am as a wrestler, and in the ring, I am going to change that. You know, I've always been more known as a powerhouse, and that slightly changed when I came back from my broken neck. So in that way, I had to change, you know, some of the moveset and change, you know, and what I was doing my craft. And now I know I'm going to do that again, end quote. Nikki revealed that in her initial plan to present her purely nostalgic version of her character has not changed now she's back in the mix. She also praised the new, more collaborative creative process in WWE. Also differential from Vince McMahon era as well, which she says is very different than before. No shit, Nikki. We all know why. And obviously, because you know who is not the company anymore. We're not even with TKO at all ever. That'll be Vince and Kenny McMahon for you to say at least, obviously. I want to keep the fearless Nikki as fearless Nikki because to me, my comeback was more than just nostalgia. And okay, here's this Hall of Famer and this legend, so let's just keep her as is. That was my mindset, you know me. I'm a marketing machine, so I wanted to keep what was marketable, what people recognize me as, but now being in it, I'm actually wanting to change it kind of a little bit. I do work with creative every week, hands-on. I love being hands-on. Everyone there is hands-on. It's actually very different than before. Even when I do promos, we do promos, you know. We used to get handed something that was very different now, and it's very cool. I'll see my scripts from Vince McMahon to say, it's freaking probably garbage he's spewing from Vince McMahon. Hear my chair go off, sorry about that. I kind of like this, honestly. I kind of like this Nikki Bella, maybe potentially a new gimmick, I say. Like, you gotta be honest, that fearless gimmick she had in Divas era, it's times in the past, to say at least with that. So I might her potentially teasing a character change. Probably go heel, honestly. Wouldn't mind that whatsoever, in all honesty. Keep out there with Nikki Bella, she does on Monday Night Raw and WWE television going for her, in all honesty. Moving on to Wardlow, reportedly suffers significant injury. As if this man can't catch a break any more than what he already has. So creatively in AEW and healthy in general, to say at least. AEW star Wardlow has reportedly suffered an injury almost immediately after making his return to television. From a year-plus absence, the injury is a setback for the former TNT champion, who had just completed filming for his American Gladiator series and was set for a push in AEW, if you want to call that push whatsoever. I don't think it's called it whatsoever, but it is what it is. According to a new report from Fightful Select, sources within AEW have confirmed the injury. Sources in AEW, in quote, that we spoke to said that the injury is feared to be a torn pectoral muscle. Not great whatsoever, which would sideline him for quite some time, report states. A torn pectoral muscle is an injury that typically requires surgery and a lengthy rehabilitation period, often sideline a wrestler for 6 to 9 months. God, that's awful, man. That is awful. Wardlow had just battled back from previous injury and was ready to resume his career. The report notes that there's a possibility he could remain on television in a non-physical enforcer type role, which is always possible. This is always possible. But his in-ring return will be significantly delayed. It was also suggested that the injury may have occurred during the angle where he made his return. Gotta be even more awful, man. Though that was not been confirmed, Wardlow had been out of action for over a year with a shoulder injury that could have compounded by a car accident, but he had been medically cleared to return for several months. His return was delayed so he could film the first 2 seasons of American Gladiator. reboot a project that he was now been completed. The report notes that many of his fellow talent were bummed out about the news after Wardlow had waited so long to be back on TV and battled injuries. This fucking sucks for Wardlow, man. Man, biggest what ifs in AEW is how big Wardlow could have been a fucking star if Tony Khan treated him properly after his feud with MJF, man. One of the biggest what ifs in AEW history is Wardlow. I know he's not healthier now. It's even worse now for him. I don't know if he can come back now, honestly. Is AEW going to want to trust Wardlow? I don't know. They already can't book him good whatsoever. Even a Don Callis film. He had nothing doing there. He had nothing memorable in that Don Callis film whatsoever, in all honesty. But I shall keep you guys up there on Wardlow going forward, in all honesty, as well. He recovers from his torn pectoral muscle Just keep updating him for sure. Moving on to your WWE Tuesday Night NXT September 9, 2025 preview. My God, I can't believe I'm not reviewing this show. I'm still previewing, in all honesty, man. Starting with Javon Evans, we take on Josh Briggs on tonight's show. Boring, in all honesty, as this show wholly is. We want to a flag match. Yes, you're not hearing this, people. A flag match between Ethan Page and reigning defend NXT North American Champion. And he'll be taking on Tavion Heights. Unbelievable. A fucking flag match. Oh, boy. Oh, no. Trick Williams, even worse, man, says he'll DIY Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. Let me repeat that one more time. Trick Williams says he'll DIY. You know how fucking ridiculous that sounds? Do you know how ridiculous that sounds, Shawn Michaels? Just saying. What do I know, bro? What the fuck do I know, honestly? Whatever. It's even worse from here. WWE Women's Title Number 1 Contenders Tournament. Which by Candice LeRae was in this tournament, by the way. I can't believe it. Not doing nothing on Candice LeRae got beat in a speed tournament. Unbelievable. Get this, I don't know any of these women outside of Lainey Reed. Spoiler alert. Lainey Reed be taking on Fabi Apache. I don't know how to fucking pronounce that name right, bro. This is NXT for you in the year 2025, man. Fabi Apache. I don't fucking know, honestly. Whatever. Move on to a WWE Heatwave NXT Tag Team title rematch. The Dark State, Deion Lennox and Osiris Griffin, the NXT defend NXT Tag Team Champions of the Dark State. Taking on Hank and Tank, Hank Walker and Tank Lesnar, like I said, WWE Heatwave Tag Team title rematch. Boring, honestly. The first match was boring. Probably this one will be boring too. And finally, they were advertised on the show a WWE Women's Tag Team title shot elimination match. Fatal Influence, JC Jane, reigning defend NXT Women's Champion. Fallon Henley or Jasmine Nix versus the Cullens, Tatum Paxley and Izzy Dame. And versus Zara Ruka, but obviously being Sol Ruka, the reigning defend NXT Women's North American Champion. And Zarya. This whole fucking show seems like a fucking snooze fest as always. That is your NXT February and March, man. Can you believe that? Let's try it again. There's your NXT September 9th, 2025 preview. And finally, if your Wrestling Report September 9th, 2025, or Tuesday, September 9th, 2025, this day in wrestling history. Starting with 1991. On a weekly primetime wrestling program, Ric Flair makes his WWF debut after more than a decade of representing NWA and WCW. In his possession, he had a WCW World Championship, announced himself to be a real world champion. So that's 1991. We went 1999. On an action-packed episode of SmackDown, the British Bulldog Davey Boy Smith defeated the Big Boss Man to become the Hardcore Champion. For some reason, Al Snow as Lefty Cassidy made his appearance. Bulldog relinquished the title to Cassidy, making him the Hardcore Champion. In the main event, the Big Show, now Paul White, and The Undertaker took the tag team titles from The Rock and Mankind and buried a live match as well. Elsewhere on the card, Triple H retains his WWF World Championship against Kane, who tries to set him alight earlier in the night. He been set on fire. Edge and Christian on AEW now go against Matt and Jeff Hardy, who at the first time known as a New Brood. China and Hardcore Holly fought to a no contest, and we saw Chris Jericho and Howard Finkel in a luchador masks. All this, it was not even a pay-per-view. Sounds boring, honestly. And finally, this day in Wrestling History 2020. On the post all-out edition of AEW Dynamite, Kip Sabian introduced the crowd to the best man of his wedding to Penelope Ford. As Miro made his AEW debut, the former Rusev would go on to be involved in a couple's wedding before going to singles success in the company. Don't know about singles success in AEW. Like, you have one TNT championship run, and that's about it, man. That's all I can recall. Heard a big time chair. I'm sorry if you heard that. But it is what it is with Miro now and Rusev back in WWE in general. That is your Wrestling Report September 9th, 2025 report. Thank you all for watching. Lucas E. Allen Productions on YouTube and all audio platforms of Lucas E. Allen Show, with your Wrestling Report for September 9th of 2025, Tuesday, September 9th of 2025. And until next time, trust me, definitely be in next time, right? Peace and love, everybody. I am out. Love you all big time, to say the least.